My brothers, today we fight for our land, our families, and our honor.
Cut! Blake, what are you doing?
The name is Cornelius.
Blake, what are you doing?
The name is Cornelius.
No, but it's very moving. But Cornelius,
Hey, shalom, shalom, yasha peace, Israel. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Waharakakwadah. Double honor to my apostles, the elders at Great Millstone, the men that taught me this truth through the Spirit. Peace and blessings to the elect of the house of Israel that's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and blessings to you few sisters listening and learning. Shalom to you as well. This is going to be a quick hit. I just seen the trailer of Gladiator 2, and the link will be in the description box. But look who we have playing a prominent figure in the Roman Empire. Mr. Denzel. Mr. Denzel himself, man. Now, here at Great Millstone, well, even going back to One West, the apostles and elders has been teaching for years, for decades, that Israel, or the Jews, the real Jews, right, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, were prominent figures in the Roman Empire. We've been preaching this for years, right? Now, you'll sit there and say, an unbeliever would say, well, what does this have to do with anything? He's an actor. He's just acting. Listen, archaeology, history tells you that when Rome came into power, they got other nations or other tribes and other villages to be their warriors. It wasn't just the Roman Empire, or the Roman soldiers wasn't just comprised of just Romans, right? It was comprised of the different nations that they conquered. And one of the nations that they conquered was Jerusalem, which was Israel. Y'all know where I'm going with this, right? So let's get into this real fast. Mr. Denzel. Mr. Denzel is playing a prominent figure in his new movie Gladiator 2, right? And the apostles and elders have been telling brothers for years, right, that Jake was all up in the Roman Empire. Jake was traders. Jake was slaves, servants, gladiators. They was also in high official positions. And guess what? You even had Jake that was emperors. All right, let's get into it now. Gladiator 2 is an up-and-coming epic historical drama directed and co-produced by Ridley Scott. Now, we know Ridley Scott, he comes out with a lot of historical movies, right? He come out with a lot of historical movies. Is this guy right here. And a lot of his movies always have truth in it. I'm trying to find his one second. Ridley Scott always, his style or genre of movies always consist of things that relate to the truth, such as aliens, right? It's always something revolving prophecy or something dealing with history. Look, 1492, Conquest of Paradise. where it showed you in that movie Christopher Columbus read the Apocrypha to find out about the Americas, right? Got Hannibal, got Gladiator. That was another historical movie. Kingdom of Heaven. That was another one. Robin Hood. So The Last Duel, that was another good one. I didn't see Napoleon, and now we got Gladiator 2. So this guy Ridley Scott, he knows certain truths, right? And that's why when he did this movie, he put Denzel as a high Roman official or an important Roman character, which we about to get into it. What was his character? All right, once I can hit this damn tab. All right, where we at? All right, so Gladiator 2. Now let's go see what character Denzel is playing. Denzel Washington as Serenus, a power broker who keeps a stable of gladiators. He works as an arms dealer and provides food and oil to the armies in Europe. Scott describes him as a pretty fucking cruel to the arena fighters. So when you look up this character, Marcellinus was proclaimed Emperor of Rome by 11 April 217, while in the eastern province of the empire, it was subsequently confirmed as such by the Senate. So this dude Marcellinus was a Roman emperor. Now, that's not to say that the character Denzel played is the same guy, but they have the same name. And then when I looked up this guy Marcellinus, he possibly was a Jake. All right? And I know you Israelites, you're going to get all, the Romans wasn't Jakes and the emperors wasn't Jakes. Yes, there were Roman emperors that was Jakes. Now let's look into the history of this guy, right? Marcellinus. Opilius Marcellinus was Roman emperor from April 217 to June 218. He said reigning jointly with his young son Dominius, born in Caesarea in the Roman province of Mauritania. Caesarianus to equestrian family of Berber origins. So they was born in Caesarea, but their families from Berber. Let's look up Berbers. Berbers, Arabic, or Berber peoples, also called by are diverse groupings of distinct ethnic groups indigenous to North Africa, who predate the arrival of the Arabs and the Arab migration to Maghreb. Their main connections are identified by their usage of Berber languages. So these Berbers are the indigenous people of Northern Africa, right? Let's look up the Berber people, right? It says Berber, any of the descendants of pre-Arab inhabitants of North Africa. The Berbers lived in scattered communities across Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Mali, Niger, and Mauritania. They speak various amazing languages belonging to Afro-Asiatic families related to ancient Egyptians, right? What race were the Berbers? The Berbers are pre-Arabic ethnic group, all right? Are Moors and Berbers the same? The Moors were nomadic Berber tribes from the Atlas Mountains of North Africa in what is known as Morocco, what is now Morocco. In the 8th century, they invaded Christian West in what is now Spain and Portugal and brought Islam with them. There you go. And we know that the Moors were Israelites. All right? So, come on now. We are seeing that Jake was all throughout the Roman Empire. All right? Now let's get into some scriptures. Sorry for that, long dissertation. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28. Verse 64. And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Right? So we were scattered into these different lands, right? And we became prominent figures in these different lands. I'm going to show that. This is the book. Let me see something. Here we go. Let's get this example. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 41, verse 41. Let me go a little up. Verse 39, Genesis 41:39. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as the Most High have showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according to unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. Joseph is one of the sons of Jacob, which later his name became Israel. So this is an Israelite living in the land of Egypt, have the same, he's just as high as Pharaoh, but without the title. The only thing that separates Pharaoh and Joseph is the title of Pharaoh. All right? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's head and arrayed him in vesture and fine linen. Hold on. Is not Denzel in fine linen? Right? So you have Israelites that gets in high positions up under the heathen nations. It's not as strange. It's not something, out of this world. You have Jake today that's in the White House, that works in the White House, that's Secretary of the State, mayors, governors. So why is it so far-fetched that Jake was in high positions in the Roman Empire, the Greek Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Babylon Empire, right? And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand and arrayed him in vesture of fine linen and put a gold chain upon his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bowed the knee, and he made the ruler of all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. It says, and Pharaoh so called Joseph name Zapanatha Pandia, and he gave him a wife, Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, and Joseph went on over all the land of Egypt. Come on now. That's one example. Let me see if I can find the other one. I found it. This is Daniel 6:1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give account unto them, and the king should have no damage. And this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom. So once again, here we go. In the Medo-Persian Empire, Daniel, which was an Israelite, had a prominent position in the Medo-Persian Empire. He was in such a high position that the other presidents envied him and hated him. Come on now. And not only, not only was the Medo-Persian Empire, it was the Babylons. Babylon had Daniel in a high position. Daniel's 2:48. Then the king made Daniel a great man, and gave him many great gifts, and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and the chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. Come on now. Now, let's bring it home. Let's bring it on home. Acts chapter 10, verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian Band. So now when we read about Cornelius, we read Acts the 10th, 11th chapter. Cornelius is an Israelite. Cornelius is an Israelite that lived in the land of Caesarea, that was a head of an Italian band. Just like Daniel was an Israelite that lived in Babylon, that ruled, and that had a high position in Babylon. Daniel was an Israelite that lived in the Medo-Persian Empire, that had a high position in the Medo-Persian Empire. Come on now. When we read about Marcerita, he was from Caesarea, right? But his family was from Berber. He came from the Berber family. Read that again. Denzel Washington as Marcerinus, a power broker who keeps a stable of gladiators who work as the arms dealer and providers of food and oil to armies in Europe. Scott describes him as a pretty fucking cruel to the arena fighters. All right? So Denzel is playing a prominent figure in the Roman Empire. Right? It's not hard. It's not complex, man. And Lord's willing, I'm gonna check this movie out. Cause I like the history pieces. Yeah, they always put their little spin and twist, add their little fiction to it. But the history is out there. The archaeology is out there. Jews lived in Rome. Jews had positions in Rome, just like Jews had positions in the Persian Empire, just like Jews had positions in Babylon. Rome is no different. I got one more. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth. Where's Athens at? Athens is in Greece. So Paul, an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin, was in Athens. Why was he in Athens? Because you had Israelites. You had a synagogue in Athens. Because Israelites was living in Athens. And then he traveled to Corinth. Why did he travel to Corinth? Because there was Israelites in Corinth. And you had a synagogue in Corinth. It says, and found certain Jews named Aquila and born in Pontus, lately come from Italy, with his wife Priscilla, because Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. Why were Jews in Rome? Because they were scattered in Rome. There were synagogues in Rome. And Claudius kicked the Jews out of Rome because there was a lot of tension and friction between the Jews and the Romans. Well, pretty much that's it, man. I'm going to wrap it up there. I pray and hope that y'all was edified. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Wahan Rakah Quadash. Leave your comments, leave your questions, do your responses. Till next time, I say Shalom.